Good.
Alrighty, here we go. We are live.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Cheap Pop Podcast. We are back once again after another brief hiatus. We are back. I'm Nick, here as always with Perry. Um, and we're here to talk some wrestling. SummerSlam just happened, so we figured we'd do a quick little recap of SummerSlam. We both watched the show. There's also some other news that happened. Um, and yeah, I wanna welcome everybody back to the show. How you been, Perry? You been good? I'm doing all right.
So far, so good. How about you?
All right, doing good, doing good, doing good. Just same shit, different day. And that's working,
Eh,
working, and working. It is what it is. But I'm my health is good. I'm good. I'm all right. I'm chilling. So that's the best most important thing. But we got some stuff to get into with SummerSlam. Me and
shout
Perry, like I
to
said,
shout to Dreadpool and Hockey Fan in the chat
what's
room.
going on, Dreadpool and Hockey Fan.
Going on,
Appreciate you
guys?
guys. Um, and yeah, so SummerSlam was Saturday. From what people are saying, will be the last one night SummerSlam. I think they're going to this 2 night thing for most of their big shows.
Yeah, no.
Which again, I get it for WrestleMania because again, like we said, WrestleMania needed it. 100%. You remember the days where we would have to recap that shit, and it was going to like fucking 2 in the morning.
Right on a Monday, and people literally were leaving there to go to work.
We would have to do recaps usually, and then we would be it would be hitting like it wouldn't even be at the main event; it'd be midnight. And he'd be like, "Dude, we'll do it tomorrow."
Isn't it so nice to know that Vince McMahon's not touching this stuff
Yeah,
anymore, but he's still
yeah,
alive? Like
yeah.
that's
The
good.
two the 2 night thing for WrestleMania
HG, what's
is
up?
is the best thing they could have done for WrestleMania. It's like 4 or 5 hours one night, 4 or 5 hours next night. Boom, it's done by like 11. I'm like, that's fucking. If this was back when we were doing this shit weekly or regularly, if that was the case, bro, would be fucking golden. But
Right.
like, it's like a normal pay per view. But now it's just like crazy. But SummerSlam, I thought it was a good show. I enjoyed
Really?
SummerSlam. I thought it was paced really well. They did a lot of stuff with the storylines, advanced a lot of the stories. There was only one result I didn't like. But besides that, overall enjoyed the show. Do you agree, Perry? How'd you feel about SummerSlam?
Yeah, I think the show is really good. You know what I like now that Vince McMahon's not running this shit anymore? Um, the fact that I'm not seeing longer matches to fill the
Yeah.
time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm literally seeing a match that's telling a story, they're getting in and they're getting out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then the next match.
Yep.
They're not putting like 1,000 matches on the card. I know
And
AEW
yes.
does that, and people were saying, "Well, AEW charges you $50, but you get 12 matches. WWE only gives you 5 matches." It's like, yeah, but WWE's $5 and the other one's $50. Like,
Yeah. And also it's like it makes like
by the way,
it,
I'm not Japanese. I don't live in Japan, so I don't need to watch 12 matches on a card with guys touchy feeling each other.
look, if you have 12 matches, you can make them
Ooh,
mean
ooh,
something.
ooh,
That,
ooh.
that's different. That's different. But they're giving you 5, 7 matches. Like I think Money in the Bank was 5 matches. This was 7 matches.
Right.
But they're all like 12 to 15 minutes long. Besides the main event, which should be your longest match, was like I think it was like 28 minutes. But I also had run-ins and shit. So there was that I knew that match was gonna
That's
be
fine. I'm just not
yeah.
watching like 45-minute
Yeah.
matches every match. You know what I mean? And they
Um
try to end these pay-per-views on time now, which is great.
yeah. No, a lot of times it ends before 11. Like it's like 10:50 and it's like over. And I'm like,
Great.
that's yeah. Get out. Um, but
SummerSlam was
yeah.
empty. Yo, let me tell you something, hockey fan, okay? The only thing empty in AEW is the fucking arenas that they run. By the way, they made a deal with the Gimpy Arena, okay? They made a deal with some arena, AEW, where there's a lot less people, which is what they
Oh,
needed to do.
I've been to the arena. I know which arena it's
Right,
the
and how many midgets
it's
can you fit in your ass in that arena?
yeah. I mean, I think it's about 3,500.
They're
But
gonna they're gonna book a
I think that's
daycare
what they
center next time
I
because
think
they're
that's what
running
they
out of
need.
money doing this stuff.
I think that's what they need to do.
Frank,
I
what's
think
up?
that's what they need to do though. They need to work smaller venues. I don't
They
think they need
do.
to work bigger. And the venue you're talking about is called Esports Arena. It's actually an esports venue in Arlington, Texas,
How
right
many
outside of
people is a
Dallas.
seat?
About 3,500, like 3,500 people.
All Empty Wrestling AEW, yeah. How many people?
3,005. Yeah, 33,500. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they should book. But guess what, Nick? You don't even have 3,000 people going there.
Yeah.
You got like 300 people going to an AEW show. So,
Yeah.
you know what? We'll get to that in a little bit, though, because,
Yeah.
you know, their problems keep going and going and going on. Go ahead.
Yeah. Anyway, let me. Okay, there we go.
SummerSlam was empty.
I was trying to get the chat. Oh.
Milfman,
yeah.
what's going on? We acknowledge you.
And
there he is.
SummerSlam wasn't even that. I mean, they had that, like, the parts that were empty. They weren't even, those tickets weren't even sold. Like, those weren't available seats. Like,
that
a
shit
lot
looked
of
like WrestleMania. What are they talking about?
it was
It
45,000
was empty.
people. Yeah. But anyway, the first match of the show was Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley. I liked the match. I thought the story was good. I kind of expected Dom to do the turn there. At least Dom is he's the only heel I could see turn heel again. Now he's
Right.
like a super heel.
Right.
Tom, he went like there.
Well,
You know,
they
there's
pulled
like
the Eddie Guerrero where he turned on China
Yeah.
and she lost the belt.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. He's even growing his hair out like Eddie and doing the whole, like, he like it's crazy. But no, I thought it was a good match. The storytelling was top notch. He kissed Liv Morgan at the end. Liv Morgan retains her title. Yeah, I thought it was a really good opener. It got the crowd hot, and it was good. It told a story, and they did their thing. And I thought that they both did a really good job, Liv and Rhea. So
there's Eli, a man that will be wrestling at a future 2-night SummerSlam.
Yes,
He'll probably wrestle both nights by the time he gets there.
Then you had Braun Breaker, Sami Zayn. This was quick, 5 minutes. Braun did his thing.
Loved it.
Yeah, he had it. The story they told was great. People were like complaining about him losing the first time. I didn't have a problem with it.
Do you want him to win the title at Money in the Bank that nobody was watching, or do you want him to win it at SummerSlam?
And also, it's like it gives Sami Zayn even more credibility for when he does beat him. Like, Sami Zayn already beat this guy. I have to make, like, he was even saying during the post, like, the press conference or whatever afterwards, he was like, you know, in kayfabe, he was like, I had to make adjustments. I had to, you know, I was in too deep in my head. I made rookie mistakes in that first match, and then he came out and he did his thing. And I think and I thought, you know, Sammy did a great job selling for him.
Right.
And I thought that, you know, that's exactly what an established guy like Zayn, that's how you do it. You have him win the title in a big WrestleMania match. That match he had with Gunther at WrestleMania was great, Sammy. And then you have him have a bit of a reign, and you knew he was eventually going to drop at the Braun with the way they're pushing him. So you do it at SummerSlam. It was a 5-minute match, quick, everything like that, and it was awesome. So congrats to Braun Breaker. He won. Yeah, it was a good match. Did its job. Then you had LA Knight Logan Paul, Mr. Scammer himself, Logan Paul. Didn't mind this match.
I say that to LA Knight. LA Knight is a humanized version of Foghorn Leghorn. The guy does fucking nothing for me.
Really? I like LA Knight, but that's just me.
He's Foghorn Leghorn. Sir. That's all this guy does.
But
get that guy out of here. He's fucking white trash. Send that guy back to
He beat Logan
TNA.
Paul. Logan Paul almost won after interference
from Tony Khan.
After interference from Machine Gun Kelly, Logan Paul almost won. Yeah, which I'm like, I don't need Machine Gun Kelly there.
No, get this guy out of here.
But
LA fucking dumb.
He's the U.S. champion. I'm happy for LA Knight, but I'd like LA Knight, so I didn't have a problem with the match. I thought Logan Paul did his thing. But Logan Paul's
got a lot to get him out of there, right? Because he was involved in a bunch of scams. This guy.
Well, no. Logan Paul is, even before WWE, even before, like, whatever. He's been wrapped up in some shit for a long time. and I'll give a
Didn't
brief.
something just happen though to him that he had
Yes,
to get out?
yeah. So I'll give a brief spark notes. Here. Brief little summary. Logan Paul did a crypto game. Like everybody else jumped into crypto. This was back in 2022 when
Right.
crypto was popping. He launched a crypto game called CryptoZoo. Now, if you look, somebody did a investigation in the crypto game, and it turned out it was a huge scam that he was going to take people's money. But the problem is he didn't end up taking people's money. See, he had never done a crypto scam before.
Bro,
So
he looks like a dumb blonde, like an airhead. How does
Like,
this guy have all this money for being stupid?
he never did a crypto scam before. So he hired two people to help him make the crypto scam. They ended up scamming him out of the money he was supposed to get. So they dipped on the project.
So wait a minute,
left
he
him
got
with
scammed
nothing.
on this, and he got scammed on Pokemon cards by people he hired.
Yes.
This guy's a dumb fuck. Wow.
Yeah. So then this guy,
How does he have any money
CoffeeZilla.
left?
So this guy named CoffeeZilla, who's a great YouTuber.
I know
Yeah.
who that is.
Love CoffeeZilla.
He called
He did
Boogie.
he did a deep dive investigation on
Batman.
CryptoZoo. On CryptoZoo. He did a 3-part investigation on CryptoZoo. Logan Paul was like, it's my bad. I didn't even know I was getting scammed. This and that, da da da. And then he said he was going to refund everybody. Everybody that fucking put their money in, I'm going to refund everybody. I apologize to everybody. I'm going to refund them. Well, guess what? He never refunded people. So CoffeeZilla's like, hey, where's the refunds? Where are they going? Are you refunding people? And then he gets hit with a defamation lawsuit by Logan Paul because he was the one that brought all of this to light, even though there's nothing. When you're suing somebody for defamation, you got to prove that there's some sort of like you're taking some sort of loss, or you're hurting.
Nothing.
He's making more money than ever. His Prime thing has done $1 billion in worldwide sales. His Prime drink. He's making money in the WWE, at least 7 figures a year. His podcast is still popping off. He lives in Puerto Rico, so he gets all these fucking tax breaks for living in Puerto Rico. So he's making more money than fucking God. He could have paid people back a year ago. You would have never heard about this again. He has the money to.
Ah, fuck
he
him.
wipes his ass with the money he could have paid people back.
He could wipe his ass with his own face. That's how much.
But he lost. So again, I think he's talented in WWE. I give him his props there. He's way more talented than he has any right to be for somebody who has only been doing it for a couple years. But as a person, I fucking can't stand him or his fucking brother.
Nobody can.
So that is my opinion on him.
The fact that he violated YouTube terms of service and they kept him on is like, come on, guys.
Everybody was wondering why Logan Paul wasn't advertised for WWE's trip to Japan.
Oh yeah.
Why he's not allowed to go to Japan?
RWKD, what's up, man? Batman is here.
What's up, guys?
Everyone's here. Eli.
Yeah, he's literally banned from going to Japan.
Frank.
So.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
But yeah.
Remember, you probably weren't even born yet. In the 90s, they grabbed this kid for vandalizing stuff in Singapore, and they caned him.
Oh my God!
They should have done that to Logan Paul.
Yeah, that kid was, yeah, what a fucking idiot.
Anyway,
next match. This was the one match I didn't mind the match. I didn't agree with the ending, and that was Bayley Nia Jax. I don't think Bayley should have dropped it to Nia Jax. That's just me. But I enjoyed the match. I thought it was one of Nia Jax's better matches. And I don't know, man. I think Bayley, again, I don't think it's like at the end of her for like, I don't think she'll eventually get it back. But like, I thought Bayley should have had a little bit more of a reign. But they gave it to Nia Jax. The match was fine. I did not agree with the ending. I did like how they did like the finish was really good. Like I liked how they did the finish, but I just thought Bayley should have retained there. But that's what they want to do. I think that's only Nia Jax's second title reign, which is crazy because she's been in the company for like a decade now. But it's like her second title.
Except for a couple of years they got rid of her.
Yes, yeah, they did. Then it was Drew McIntyre, CM Punk with Seth Rollins as the referee. I enjoyed this match a lot.
Me too.
I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the just the back and forth. Did you catch after Punk hit the GTS, or I think it was the GTS or whatever, and then he got a 2 count, and he got in Seth Rollins' face, and he was like, "I don't care if you think this is your ring." He was like, "I don't care if you're the referee. I don't care about you and your Sabu pants." Like he pointed at fucking Rollins and said he was wearing Sabu
Yeah,
pants.
then he just GTS'd him. He didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, but it was like he was like, "It's not always about me, but it's never about you." I thought that was
That's
a that was a good
one.
line. That was a good line. But I love the banter between everybody in the match, and I think that McIntyre winning, I think was the right move because you're gonna get, well, we'll talk about what happened on Raw too briefly between those three because I don't know where I know where they're going, but I kind of there's a rumor going on that I think next month is Bad Blood. I think that's
Yeah,
next month.
October.
Oh, October. I think they said
It's
that
literally on the day that the first Bad Blood was, the 5th.
that's pretty cool.
So
That's pretty cool.
Almost 30 years to the day.
The rumor is that they're planning for I think for Punk and Drew they're planning like a Hell in a Cell, but that's the rumor I saw online. That's a rumor, and that would be the blow off.
They could do it,
but they could do it. But but yeah. So McIntyre beat Punk by pinfall, and yeah, and this was after Punk got distracted. He gave like you said, Rollins a GTS, got distracted. Drew got the finish. And yeah, it was good, really good match. Did their thing, told a great story. Punk looked great. Punk looked better than he did in January. In terms of like just physically, like he looked a lot better. Not that he looked bad in January. He looked a lot leaner. Like they did a side by side of him and his the last time he was at SummerSlam in 2013. I was like, holy shit.
yeah.
And I mean, besides the grays in his beard, he looks like the same. He look like the same guy. So
He looks more muscular than he did in AEW. Even
he definitely bulked up.
Yeah.
He definitely bulked up, which might be better for him. But we'll see what happens. But hopefully he stays healthy. He said he felt great after, so that's a good thing. And yeah,
he looked. CM Punk kind of looked blown up in that match. I don't know what it was.
It could have been a cardio issue. It could have been a cardio issue. I mean,
he was blowing up pretty quickly.
I mean, again, he's carrying around a lot. Like you said, I think he definitely bulked up. Like he's very top heavy now. It looks like he's got like his shoulders are like bigger and shit.
Yeah, man, I don't know.
And maybe he's got to lean up a little bit, but I mean, he got through it unscathed.
His contract came with some steroids, probably.
He got through it unscathed, so that's good on him. And also, he just got advertised. They just announced him for the first night of NXT on CW.
I saw that. That's cool. I'll watch
in Chicago. And then Randy Orton is going to be on night 2. That's in like St. Louis for week 2.
Nobody wants to see him. Come on.
Yeah, but no, that's cool. That's cool.
Unless he's going to lose. What is he doing there?
Well, no, I don't know if they're wrestling or not, but they just got announced. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, so good match. Fine with McIntyre winning. Then you had a match that I really enjoyed a lot too. Gunther, Damian Priest, with Gunther winning the World Heavyweight Championship.
Bro, what happened? He slapped his tits and they started bleeding?
Something, yeah. I don't know.
This guy Gunther, he looked like he had an animal that scratched the shit out of him.
Yeah, but I mean, Gunther.
What's this guy doing?
I love Gunther.
This guy sleeping with Vince.
And I've actually, I've actually come along with Damian Priest. Like I think that he's a good performer. And I like Damian Priest's story a lot. Like I do. Like I think he's coming out with a WWE, or he just came out with the WWE 24 thing on the network. And I like Damian Priest's story a lot. Like he had to go through a lot of shit, especially early on in his life, early in his career, coming up in New York. Like he had to go through a lot of shit. And I'm happy for him. But they had a great match. And Gunther, like most people predicted after winning the King of the Ring, won the World Heavyweight Championship as he deserved it.
He should have beaten Cody for the title, not this guy.
No. They've been too busy with the whole bloodline shit with Cody.
Yeah, but that means Rock's going to get the title. You know that, right?
I hope not, but we'll see.
Well, why is Cody getting away with it? that means they're holding the belt for somebody big.
Yeah.
So it's either going to be CM Punk or The Rock.
Let's go into the main event. Cody versus Solo Sikoa. This was a Bloodline Rules match for the undisputed WWE Championship.
Bro, they couldn't even get the fucking Bloodline Rules going. These guys are getting hurt. No one's running out and helping them. It was a fucking mess.
Well, apparently,
if you're a Bloodline member,
bro, can I just say, Jacob Fatu is insane. That dude is a fucking animal. I don't know if you saw.
Sure is. He broke his leg the first night in.
Well, apparently, that was planned. That's what they're saying.
They're saying people are saying he walked out with a boot on his leg.
But they were saying he was supposed to sell his leg like that, so they didn't want him to go face to face with Roman at all. So, but
this reminds me. This Bloodline reminds me of NWOB team.
Well,
they said, Virgil, you have your own faction now.
Bro, I saw, what was it? Somebody had a sign that night that said Timu Bloodline.
Yeah, I know.
When they were, I was like,
Frank
again, hey, look, they're trying, but it just, when you're trying to come off the original Bloodline, some of it just falls flat. And I don't know if
you remember DuckTales?
Yeah.
You had the Beagle Boys, and then one day you just turned it on. There was a different set of Beagle Boys.
Yeah.
And then there was that like one-off third set of Beagle Boys. This is that one-off third set of Beagle Boys. That's all it is.
Yeah, no, it was just but the match was good. There was a lot of run-ins. And then the final run-in was Roman Reigns returning. He came out and immediately attacked Solo Sikoa with the Superman punch, hit him with the spear. Cody then hits the crossroads, and Cody retains. And it looks like now Roman's back, and he's feuding with Solo Sikoa. So I guess that this is going to bring in, like, he's going to maybe assemble the original Bloodline now. I don't know how with Jimmy and Jay. I don't know.
You gotta get the whole Bloodline together and then just have the pieces start falling apart. You can't come in there and be like, yeah, we got Bloodline A, Bloodline B. You can't really do that. That's kind of dumb because people are expecting that. Like when Rock joined Bloodline, originally it was going to be Rock and Roman fighting each other, and they already started like cutting promos on each other. But then they just said, "Fuck it, we're just the Bloodline now." Like that's what you got to start like together, and be like, "Oh, I'll give you guys a chance, but you ain't the head of the table. I am." Blah blah. That's why I did what I did at the pay-per-view, and then they all work together. But then
eventually,
see the cracks in the armor or whatever, and then that's when it goes like crazy.
Yeah,
but Rock's got to be involved in something like that. If that whole thing is falling apart, he's got to be involved. Or Roman puts it back together, it falls apart under Roman, and Rock comes back and like, yo, you fucked up the whole family. Now I'm going to beat you up.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I think I don't know.
Like you said, I think it's going to be over time. Like you said, they're going to try to like prolong it a bit more because it's like, Rock's eventually, they're probably going to want Rock like probably Survivor Series time. I would think maybe just make an appearance, do something. Not saying he has to wrestle. They're definitely going to want Rock for that first Raw on Netflix. That's for sure.
Yeah.
He was one of the ones hyping up that fucking deal. So, I mean, he almost has to be there.
He will be there. Don't worry.
And yeah. So, overall, I thought it was a good match. Cody retained. Cool seeing Roman back, and I thought it was a really good show. 7 matches. That was the longest match of the night, as it should have been, because it was the main event.
The pacing of the show is great. I didn't see... Yeah. You know what WWE's doing now? They're not doing this Ring of Honor bullshit where you're hitting people with 5,000 finishers and kicking out. They're literally just having a match.
Yeah.
And there'll be like 1 or 2 false finishes.
1 or 2 near falls, yeah. 1 or 2 near falls.
Not like every 5 fucking seconds, because that shit was driving me crazy. That's why I stopped watching.
Yeah. But overall, really good show. Now, Raw the next night, I'm not going through all of Raw, but for the for the McIntyre, Punk, Rollins stuff. Punk came out, said he wanted round 2 with Drew McIntyre. Cut a really good promo. Then Seth Rollins came out. Rollins was looked like he wanted to fight Punk. He said I think he said something about like he made a joke that Seth was dressed like a cowboy or something. They got in the ring, they were about to fight. McIntyre's music hits. He walks out from the crowd and pretty much gets Punk to chase after him because he's like, "Hey Punk, I still got, I'm not alone. I still got AJ and Larry with me." He said, "Your ugly dog and your beautiful wife AJ." And so Punk chases after him up through the crowd, out to the back, leaves Seth Rollins in the ring. And then earlier in the night, I didn't see this before I saw this segment on YouTube, but early in the night, Bronson Reed said he was ready to make the statement. I don't know why. He said he was tired of being looked over. He wanted to make a statement. He came out and beat the fuck out of Seth Rollins. Like, I mean, he literally did a big splash off the rope, then went up and did another one, then went up and did another one, then got pulled off by the refs, came back down, did another one. He splashed this
Wow, you
man.
mean they're actually like doing different fucking angles for once?
Oh,
wow.
no, I liked it. I thought
it.
because the
I didn't
crowd
watch
was going
it, but
nuts.
you're telling me, and I'm loving it. So
The crowd was going nuts, and I think that they're going to try
they're not
to
doing the Vince McMahon thing where you're seeing the same thing over and over and over again. They said, "Fuck it."
Yeah.
We blew it off at SummerSlam. These two guys are still busy. This guy's not busy, so let's fuck him up.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah, and eventually they're going to come back to the Punk and Seth stuff down the road.
Yeah, that's WrestleMania. Yeah. We all know
that's already WrestleMania, probably for the title or some shit. Like it's gonna happen eventually. It's just they'll eventually make their way to it. But I thought it was a good segment, and it made Bronson Reed, who I wasn't even thinking about 2 days ago, it made him look like a monster. Like he was throwing fucking Seth around like he could have threw him to the 5th row. I was like, it was nuts. It was nuts. But I really enjoyed that. That's the only thing I want to say about Raw. But WWE's heading in a good direction. They got Bad Blood coming up in October. What's the September pay-per-view? I forget.
I don't know anymore. They keep changing the names. It used to be No Mercy or no.
Yeah. Well, no, NXT is No Mercy. It's the 31st is Bash in Berlin. August 31st, Bash in Berlin. They're doing a pay-per-view in Germany.
Maybe that's why Gunther's champion.
Yeah, maybe. And then the next one after that is October 5th from Atlanta, Bad Blood. State Farm Arena. So
yeah, I think Milkman said it's 30 years from Bad Blood, but no, Bad Blood was 1997. That was the first Bad Blood, October 5th, 1997.
So it's 27 years.
27 years to the day.
I'm glad they're bringing back some of these old names. I mean, they have them. They have the rights to them. Might as well fucking use them. Why the fuck
don't they just bring back WCW? Like, I saw that documentary that The Rock had produced.
Yeah.
We didn't get anything new out of it.
No, it was
they
more
just
of the
finally showed the fans like, hey, somebody was cooking the books back there, which we all knew something was up.
People that read the dirt sheets in the internet knew something was up. That's been rumored.
They just confirmed though.
Confirmed it. Yeah, they just confirmed.
Those fucking executives there. Oh, did you do it? No. It's like, dude, you shaking your head yes. Come on. I would bring back WCW if I were Endeavor. What do they have to lose? Right?
Yeah.
Give it its own base somewhere and let them do their own thing. But
so the last Bad Blood was in 2004. That was the last Bad Blood.
That was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. But that wasn't on October 5th. That was in like July or June or something.
June 13th.
Because that was a Raw pay-per-view with Kevin Nash and Triple H in a cage. Hell in a Cell.
No, it's Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
What? Wasn't Kevin Nash involved in that thing? I don't know.
He might have been.
He's on the box. Maybe it was supposed to be Kevin. I don't fucking know.
The poster was Edge.
Edge?
Yeah.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, it was Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Benoit, Kane, Eugene and Jonathan Coachman.
That's okay. I'm glad those days are over. Just hearing that shit makes me cringe.
The one match I remember I liked on that card was Shelton and Orton for the IC title. That was a really good match.
Didn't they have the triathlon with Austin and Bischoff on that one?
No.
What?
Wait a minute. Is that not a match? I don't know. Batista defeated Maven in Heat. On Heat.
Oh, maybe I got my pay-per-views mixed up.
Maven was not in Heat. Sorry, that was. Let's say on Heat. Yeah. I don't see anything about Austin.
Didn't they do Bad Blood a couple of times? Didn't they do one in 03? Maybe I'm talking about the 03 one.
Yeah. 03 was. Yeah, Triple H, Kevin Nash.
Yes.
Was 03.
Thank you.
Stone Cold defeated Eric Bischoff in the Redneck Triathlon.
There you go. See?
Yeah, that was 03.
I'm off by a year.
Goldberg beat Jericho. Yeah, that was.
Speaking of Goldberg, I saw his interview with Van Vliet. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
And I don't know why the internet still hates this guy.
Yeah. But you want to talk about Shane O'Mac?
Good old Shane McMahon met with the owner of AEW, Tony Khan. There's a rumor that Mercedes Moné got this photo snapped that you're looking at. When Shane looks like an extra off The Sopranos, and Tony Khan looks like he's 3 years old. So, I guess Shane's going to AEW at some point for something. I don't know.
Well, this came after
Maybe
think about
Britt Baker could fuck his life up too. Oh!
After about a week or two ago, I think it might have been a couple weeks ago, where Tony Khan said he'd be open to speaking with Shane, and then this happened.
Well, let's go back to a couple of years ago. Remember, he brought in a wrestler, and everyone's like, "It's got to be Shane McMahon," right?
Okay.
And then he revealed the wrestler. I forgot who it was. And then he just screams on Dynamite, "See, it wasn't Shane." And it's like, what? He acknowledged the internet on live TV.
Yeah. Yeah. So from what we know about it, it just says Wrestle Talk Fight and Fightful learned that AEW CEO Tony Khan had a private meeting with Shane McMahon this week. The meeting took place in an office at a private Arlington airport on Monday, July 29th during the afternoon.
By the way, Meltzer said that there were no truth to the rumors that they were ever going to meet. And then they met, and Meltzer's like, "Oh, yeah, well, I heard this quite a while ago." It's like,
bro.
Come on, man.
It says sources said that the meeting did take place with Khan and McMahon discussing possibilities moving forward. Khan had been open to talking.
Vince took the photo. Vince walked in.
Oh my god!
And that's why he looks like that.
Oh Jesus! Khan had been open to talking with McMahon for a while, but
you know why they had this meeting, Nick? Because Tony Khan just wanted to hug him.
I think Tony Khan wanted some headlines. I think that's what
he wanted to squeeze his ass and hug him, like Austin did to McMahon in that one Raw from 2001.
Jesus Christ. Says but it's believed it said Khan had been open to talking with McMahon for a while, but it's believed they had never met or even spoken before the rumors about McMahon possibly joining AEW emerged recently. Khan is said to have been very open to using Shane for several weeks now, and has also made it clear that he was open to the idea of talking to Shane when people have brought up the topic to him backstage. Publicly, Tony Khan commented on a recent interview that McMahon was welcome to stop by anytime, and he seems like a really nice guy. Khan also told Sports Illustrated he has a lot of respect for Shane as an executive and a professional wrestler, and he's always welcome in AEW. Shane has been absent from WWE since WrestleMania 39, where he tore his quad just seconds into his match against The Miz. Fightful reported in June 2024 that he was under no kind of contract with WWE as of that story being released. We'll keep you posted. So yeah, so he's having conversations about possibly going to AEW. In what capacity? Whether it just be on screen, whether it be behind the scenes, both. I don't know.
I think you bring him in like Eric Bischoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like the GM or something. Hey, look, you can have him wrestle guys. I know the internet's like all against this shit. Yeah, here's the thing with AEW fans. We don't want this guy in the company. Oh my god, here he is. Let's get him in. I've heard so many times about this Shane McMahon thing for years in AEW. AEW fan, we don't need Shane McMahon. He's too old.
Yeah.
Then his photo comes out. Oh my god, I hope he's going to be on Dynamite this week. You see what I'm saying? Like,
hey, if he
I don't
joins
care. Listen to me.
If he joins, bro, fuck it.
Fine. I don't have a problem.
Yeah, who cares?
I don't care if he wrestles. I don't care if he wins their title. I really don't give a shit because here's the thing. It's pro wrestling. It's all bullshit anyway.
Yeah, it's
who cares?
He could come back and they could do some fun shit with him. They can come back and it could be some bullshit. Like, we don't know
I
until we
hope
see
he
it.
fucking ruins that company worse than it's already been ruined because there's no point. Now, AEW just needs to have fun with this shit because it's going down the tubes. We all know it. So if they can have some fun on the way out, great.
We'll see. So you don't think he would be in an executive role at all? Any behind the scenes role?
What's he gonna do? Fight with a couple of fucking midgets that work there? We already saw how that played out for Cody Rhodes, right? An executive who was thrown out.
Yeah.
Although this guy could kick the shit out of those two midgets, I'll tell you that. That's for sure. Anybody that fucks with this guy, he's gonna beat the fuck out of him back. So you thought CM Punk? Do you think he's gonna beat people up? This guy will kick your ass.
Now, do you think, even though Vince is not involved in WWE anymore, do you think this is just still him gonna go? Because there's talks that the family is falling out with Vince. Even the kids have fallen out with Vince. And do you think that this is him going fuck you to his dad, even though his dad's not involved with WWE?
We've talked about this on this show for over 10 years now. This guy was supposed to run ECW, okay?
Yeah.
Then he was supposed to run WCW.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they finally bought ECW, he was supposed to run that.
Yeah.
And they took it away from him. They've taken every opportunity away from this guy. And it was his father that took it away from him. Because his father didn't want to compete, because his father felt bad that he would crush his son in competition. It's like, no, motherfucker, you were afraid that your son was going to beat you in competition.
It was
never
Vince's
gave him
ego.
the chance to do it.
It was Vince's ego.
It was Vince McMahon's ego, like you just said. So now this guy, and by the way, him and Triple H, they didn't get along for a long time. So I don't know if that's still an issue, but WWE doesn't want him, which is weird because his brother-in-law runs the place.
Yeah, and
so there might be a falling out there, and this photo might be the big fuck you back to them.
Yeah, I definitely think there's some family drama there.
And you know what? This guy might buy part of the company, or he might buy the whole company. Maybe he's going to buy Ring of Honor. We don't know. We have no fucking idea. What's Tony Khan doing Ring of Honor? He's trying to get a streaming deal on Max. Where is it? Maybe he's trying to offload Ring of Honor. And say, hey, you know what? I don't have time for this Ring of Honor shit. Do you want it? You could start your own Fed. But just let's do a talent exchange so your brother-in-law doesn't kill me over there.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're bringing him in because it's going to help him get a TV deal somewhere. Because guess what? They let that fucking thing expire. They need a TV deal within the next 2 weeks. Because those lineups are going out for the fall at the end of the month. They're not on the lineup for fall. So,
yeah.
And I told everyone that shit was going to happen, and nobody fucking believed me. Just like the TNA thing with Spike TV. We knew they were canceled for 3 months, and everyone's like, they didn't get canceled. Those are just rumors. And then guess what? They were canceled. So.
Well, speaking of AEW, they have
But they have great matches, Nick. The great matches are going to save the whole company from all their problems.
Well, they also have a great amount of drama as well behind the scenes.
Oh, let's get to that one.
Yes. So apparently there was an argument, and this was not I don't want to misconstrued anything here. This was not there. There was like rumors going around that like MJF hit Britt Baker, some weird shit that people were starting online.
I heard he punched the wall, which was
he punched the wall. He punched the wall. That's the true part.
Do you have the whole story? Because I have it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so this was Britt Baker and MJF apparently had an argument, and it led to Britt Baker being suspended. Says several weeks ago, an argument between Britt Baker and MJF occurred. Now, again, this is what I have, Perry. If I miss anything and it's in your copy, then let me know. But it says the word internally was that Britt Baker exercised frustration about MJF within the women's locker room. Word made it back to MJF, and his girlfriend Alicia Atout, I don't know how to pronounce her name, was in the room. The details are he said, she said at this point. We were told that there were confrontations with Britt Baker approaching Alicia Atout as well as MJF and Baker. At one point, Will Ospreay was also spoke with Baker, but we're told that that was not heated. Word was that Baker took issue with Atout telling MJF about what was said in the locker room.
What did she think was going to happen? She wasn't going to tell her boyfriend?
Yeah. There was a claim from one person in the locker room that Baker cursed at Atout and wanted to kick her out of the locker room for discussing the conversation. Argument broke out between MJF and Baker.
I have the quotes, by the way.
Okay. You didn't say so.
I'll get you those. Just give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going. If nobody sees us, that's friggin' stupid thing.
An argument broke out between MJF and Baker, which resulted in MJF punching a wall before his hour-long match. He had to be taped up more than usual as a result. The previous close friends, Britt Baker and MJF, had a falling out at some point in the last year. HR got involved in the situation, which actually happened several weeks ago. Baker has appeared on TV since then, but has since been legitimately suspended. We've spoken to some near the situation, and MJF entered the women's locker room to have the conversation. For those that irresponsibly aggregated this, we never used the term barged in. It was claimed that he knocked before entering by wrestlers who were in there.
What's with AEW and breaking into people's fucking locker rooms? Like, why is this
a situation that will have two very different sides to it? We asked why MJF was not also suspended, and we were told an investigation was conducted. Numerous witnesses were interviewed, and the suspension was decided on. Those side with MJF said that he was informed that Baker Natal had a confrontation and knocked before entering.
I'm sending this to you right now.
The claim internally from AEW was that the suspension led to one side's version of the events being supported. Though we have spoken to talent that claim otherwise, the issue in general is divisive. Most talent that we've heard from were over it already and hope to move on. Okay, you sent it to me on
Messenger, and if you click on, there's a photo underneath the photo says "read more." There's more photos there. That's the breakdown of everything that happened.
You. Okay, I see. Okay,
and there's more to this after that, just so you know.
Got you. Okay.
It says Nick. I was told that when CM Punk was fired, all this shit would go away.
So this is from people with direct knowledge of the situation. Said all of these things are true. MJF did punch a wall. MJF did 100% go into the women's locker room. The question is now, and the question that many fans have been asking and then is why did he not get suspended? The reason why he didn't get suspended is because of the context and order of these events. According to multiple sources, when MJF hit the wall, it was not a case of he was in front of Britt Baker and he punched the wall right next to her. Apparently, he had his interaction. He walked away very, very far away from her down the hallway where no one was there, and then hit a wall. So that's the hitting the wall part. He continued regarding the women's locker room aspect of the story. The official information I got was that it was after the whole thing apparently calmed down. Apparently, Will Ospreay was the first person to confront Britt Baker, and he just kind of asked her why she was starting issues. Ospreay confronted her, asked her about it, and Britt Baker went off on Alicia Atout. Britt Baker called Alicia, by multiple accounts, a stupid fucking bitch, because Alicia Atout informed MJF that Britt Baker was berating him, talking crap about Matt. Why wouldn't she say something about that? You're talking shit about my boyfriend in front of me, and I'm not going to be like, hey, what? No. If I did, if like you're talking shit about my significant other in front of me, and I'm not supposed to say, and you're talking shit about Ospreay, and like people that have not like. Why are you berating them?
This is the woman that caused fights with Thunder Rosa, LuFisto. Remember the LuFisto thing? That it was a Friday night at around 6 p.m. that they all tweeted in unison. She got all the girls from the AEW locker room. They all hit send at 6 p.m. Eastern on a Friday to go up against LuFisto's claims. And they made LuFisto look like really bad. LuFisto had to leave the internet. This is like, bro, you got to fire this girl. Because guess what? She ain't going to go to WWE. You think they're going to take that shit? This reminds me of
Um,
the WCW locker room when Kimberly Page used to go through the girls' bags and find pills and tell Bischoff like, "Oh, this girl's on drugs." You don't
so it
remember
says
that, do you?
because what?
That Kimberly Page used to do that in
Oh
WCW.
yeah. I read
And
that
Scott
before.
Steiner threatened her. He started screaming and yelling at her for doing that.
Um, but yeah, it says here that she was basically burying them as their match was going on. This was the 1
How
hour
is
match
Jesus
they had.
defending this? Because Jesus thinks that magical touchy-feely matches are going to save the company. Dude, the company's like dead. Like
So
this is
apparently she was
beyond
burying
shit.
them there. She was burying them during their 1 hour long match.
Why do you think MJF punched the wall? Because he fucking knows that they're dead.
Alicia Tout lets Max know this via text message. Max finds out later. Osprey approaches. MJF comes to the defense of his fiance, which he should. He has every right to do. Britt Baker goes off on Alicia for being a snitch. She accused her of being a snitch, calling
How
her
is it a
stupid
snitch?
fucking
You're talking
bitch.
shit about the girl's boyfriend.
She said she was going to get her kicked out of the women's locker room, so on and so forth. MJF going into the women's locker room was allegedly him going there, knocking and asked if he could enter, and them saying that he could enter, and then that's what he
This
got
is
in the
such a
locker room.
fucking headache. You fire this girl and that's it. You move on. You know what I mean? Adam
The
Cole.
reason why he was not
There's
suspended.
a rumor that her and Adam Cole broke up. Okay, even if
Yeah.
they did not break up, Adam Cole is like a fucking quadriplegic right now. Okay, the guy can't fucking do anything anyway. So fire her and just get rid of it. Get rid of her.
The reason why he was
And
not
if he don't want to
suspended,
come back, fucking let him go because he can't do anything anyway either. So
the reason why he was not suspended is because HR had all the details and the information and the footage, and they looked it all over and said, "Okay, you're
the
not in the
footage.
wrong
You're going to
here,
show that on fucking Dynamite.
and you're just coming into the defense of your fiance." So they just kind of just didn't really punish him because they didn't see it as something that should be punishable. So that's kind of the deal with it. That's the situation with MJF and Britt Baker. Not the situation with MJF and Britt Baker is not going to miss All In. She's going to wrestle at All In against Mercedes Moné. So there you go. But she was
She's
suspended.
doing a fucking job. I'm telling you right
Yeah.
there. Dude,
Yeah.
Tony Khan shouldn't even have her go out there. And by the way, she tweeted after this. Oh, isn't it funny to hear rumors about yourself on the internet? But you want to hear more? It's like, stop. Just don't fucking type anything. These
She really
people
tweeted
cannot
that?
fucking stop. It's her, the Elite, all these guys cannot stop.
She really tweeted that?
She tweeted that shit, man. Look it up. Just go to her Twitter.
Oh, I see. You ever hear a rumor about yourself and actually want to hear more? Like, no way. What did I do next?
Oh my fucking god, just stop. This company, man. They're a bunch of fucking idiots. When you do this stuff, the other side sees that and goes, okay, not hiring that one. So you can DMD all day fucking long, but it ain't gonna get you a job in WWE. And you think TNA wants that shit, especially Ace Steel's running TNA now. You don't think he's not gonna forget what happened over there with him in AEW? The inmates are running the asylum over there. Yeah, I know. This is worse than WCW because they used to say that about WCW. The inmates were running the asylum. Dude, the wrestlers weren't running shit in WCW, which is poor management. The wrestlers here are running AEW because this guy Tony Khan doesn't have a set of balls. And he's just letting everybody run roughshod. That's why MJF's punching walls. He knows. He knows this company is fucked. And he's the head of this company. This company is on his shoulders. This is why he shouldn't have re-signed, man. He should have just went right to WWE. But he re-signed. He was going to be the guy there. And look, he's got to deal with all this shit. But hey, I was told CM Punk was the fucking problem with this company.
Oh, yeah. No, that's
what I was told. The minute he went away, the cancer went away, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
I heard he wasn't going to last 6 weeks in WWE. What happened? He's having the time of his life. I don't know,
Yeah.
man. I'm telling you.
But, yeah, no, it sucks to see more useless drama. Just, there was no reason for her to start shit like that.
This is what happens when you hire a bunch of guys off the fucking indies that never been on TV before. Listen, MJF is the main guy of the company. He's the face of the company for the most part. Okay?
Yeah. No, 100%.
You're having one of the women fucking call this guy out? Like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, and why even bring up like either of them, Max or Osprey? Like it makes no sense. Like
Imagine
why?
if Sable back in the day, because Sable called out China, or China called out Sable, one of them. Imagine if Sable called out Steve Austin. Number one, there would be no reason to do that. And number two, guess who Vince McMahon's getting rid of first?
Yeah, no,
Ridiculous.
it was very stupid.
And what if
Very
Shane McMahon comes in and this girl fucks with him? You know, here's the problem with AEW, and we see this a lot. We read about it a lot. Whenever they bring in WWE guys, they always want to get them out of the AEW because they're taking up a spot. It's like you need these guys to help to get people to know who the hell you are.
Yeah.
When Christian wrestles Jack Perry, people are like, who's Jack Perry? But if you wrestles Christian, like, oh, I know Christian, he's wrestling this guy, okay. And then they start building a feud, then the people start to get to know who Jack Perry is. You see what I'm saying? That's how you do that. They're there to build you guys up. They're not there to take your spot and kick you out of the company. If anything, have a problem with Chris Jericho, who's a fat fucking slob that does nothing. And by the way, Daniel Garcia, I was told by Jesus this guy was going to be an AEW champion. Really? They don't even want to fucking renew him right now. His contract is up in the window.
Who?
Garcia, what's his name?
Oh, Daniel Garcia.
Daniel
I think his name
Garcia, the guy
Yeah.
that fucking dances like an idiot. Jesus said he was going to be an AEW champion. And I said, bro, that guy ain't going to be a world champion.
But speaking of idiots,
And now they don't even want him. They don't want to re-sign him.
speaking of idiots, before we even go into anything else, I completely forgot about something I wanted to bring up earlier that I want to bring up. And that is, did you see the photos of fucking Rob Feinstein from SummerSlam? Did you see that shit?
I saw a photo, but I wasn't really into the article because I was like, this guy he used to do the RF videos, right?
He owns RF Video. He was one of the
He was the
co-founders,
ECW guy, the fan cam
ECW
thing, right?
and one of the original co-founders of ECW. Or not ECW, Ring of Honor. Sorry, did ECW, then went to Ring of Honor, and was one of the head guys at Ring of Honor. And for those who don't know, he was the SmackDown before SummerSlam. He was sitting ringside behind the commentators, and people pointed him out. Holy shit, that's the RF Video guy.
Right.
Now, you probably heard of RF Video. You've probably seen shoot interviews that he's done over the years.
Yeah.
He's very close with a lot of wrestlers still. But the reason why, I knew about him from Ring of Honor back in the day, when Ring of Honor first started, and also I knew about him because my local NBC affiliate in Philadelphia did a sting operation on him in 2004 with Perverted Justice for trying to meet a minor that he met on the internet in person. It was a decoy. It was a staged sting operation. So there was no actual minor, but they caught him doing that and caught him running to his car. I remember the clip so vivid. They chased him to his car and he drove away. I don't know if he was ever charged with that or anything. I don't know what the whole situation about that, but he ended up having to leave Ring of Honor because I remember Samoa Joe. And this went viral again when these pictures were popping up of him being there. Samoa Joe made a long ass like MySpace blog post or something about the situation and was like, I'm doing my dates Ring of Honor. Then he was like, I'm fucking out. He was like, if this guy's not fucking out, I'm fucking out.
Right.
Punk and Joe and like AJ and a lot of those guys, one of the main reasons they started starting to do TNA, well, at least Joe and AJ, was because of the whole Rob Feinstein thing. Because they were like, look, we're going to start getting our feet planted in this promotion because if they don't get rid of this fucking guy, we're not going back.
Right.
Sort of thing. And And it was very like he then went to the hotel that the wrestlers were at, and half the wrestlers probably don't know who the fuck this guy is. They were still fucking, not even born yet when he was fucking, if you're like a 22-year-old wrestler in your early 20s, you don't know who the fuck Rob Feinstein is. He looks like just some white dude. He came in, he was wearing I think he was wearing like one of the Rock's like Under Armour shirts or some shit. And he's just walking in there and he's like taking photos with like Drew McIntyre, and he's taking photos with all these other guys who don't know who the fuck this dude is. They think he's just a fan. A WWE made a statement about it and said he was not invited. He was invited by somebody who, like, those are like where people sit there. Like, if you sit that close, those are usually like comp ticket. Those are like tickets that like somebody, if you're like part of the media, or if you're like, you have to know somebody to get you can't buy those tickets on Ticketmaster. Those, like, somebody who knows somebody, they're giving like a company or something. Like, that's how you get those tickets. So he knew somebody that gave him those tickets, apparently.
Right.
But, and a lot of people were pissed off. Like, how is this guy that 20 years ago was trying to meet up with fucking minors? How is he in a fucking a venue or an event with a bunch of minors there? There's tons of kids at wrestling events. Like,
Right.
how is he allowed there? But again, I don't know if anything legally ever came of that. Like, I don't think back then he got like put on a list or some shit. I think it's just because you never heard about it after it happened. Like, it kind of just got dry. Like, he had to leave Ring of Honor immediately, but then he started doing the whole, like, started doing the whole shoot interview thing, and nobody really brought it up after that. I mean, he was just, after that, he was hanging out with, after the whole that whole SmackDown at SummerSlam that same weekend, for the whole weekend, he's hanging out with Bret Hart. Just hanging out. They're getting dinner together and shit. Like, they're like apparently best friends. They were doing some kind of autograph signing with him.
Well, back then there wasn't the internet like there is now. You know what I mean? So a lot of these guys probably didn't even know what this guy was doing.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm talking about, like, he was just hanging out with Bret Hart last week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like after the whole SummerSlam thing.
I thought you meant SmackDown after SummerSlam like years ago.
Oh, no. Apparently he does these virtual signings too through RF video or something, where it's like you can pay to have, you could pay for like an autograph from Bret Hart, like a personalized autograph, and then, or whatever the wrestler is, and then they ship it to you. So apparently he was doing some virtual signing with Bret.
I don't know. Well, Bret's got a lot of explaining to
do. Well, didn't he do a shoot interview with Bret or something?
I don't know.
Back in the day? I'm could have sworn he did a shoot interview.
He did a lot of shoot interviews, this guy.
Yeah. I mean, literally, some of CM Punk and Joe's first shoot interviews were done with him. Before all that happened, like in 2002, 2003, some of those early, like, Joe and Punk shoot interviews they did, those were done by him, because he was doing a lot of that stuff. He was doing a lot of stuff in the video department too for Ring of Honor. A lot of the DVDs, because that's the kind of stuff he was doing. Like, he was recording, wasn't he recording ECW stuff? Like, that's how
the fan cam.
The fan cam, yeah. So, but yeah, no, it was very weird to see him there. I don't know why he just randomly popped up, but people pointing him out because he was making poses for the camera and shit. Like, while he was at ringside, I'm like, bro, is this dude a fucking idiot? Like, you think you were going to be positively received? People don't forget about that shit. That video was still somewhere on the internet. It was the early days of the internet, but it's there. It lives on.
Right.
You could find it if you do some digging. But I remember when that news broke, I was on the Ring of Honor fucking discussion forum when that fucking broke. That's how I was fucking 13 years old when that happened.
Right.
But I was that nerdy kid who was in the Ring of Honor, and I was like fucking on the fucking, everybody was like, yo, get this dude the fuck out of here. Like, done. So it's like, I thought it was just weird. And Punk reposted the picture of McIntyre and him. He was like, I'm trying to send this, he was like, what a goof, time to send this dude back to the minors or some shit.
Right.
Like, but the minor leagues, which I think was a play on words, minor leagues.
Wow.
But yeah, but I mean, hey, I think that's all fair because, hey, but he did eventually take it down before the match. I don't know if he was told by somebody in WWE, yo, take that fucking guy down. I don't know. But also it was, McIntyre put up the photo of him with Jack Perry a few weeks ago, and then that got deleted.
but guess what? Here's where McIntyre was good about that. Yeah. McIntyre got with Jack Perry, smiled, took the photo, But McIntyre's smiling because he's like, this dumb fuck couldn't make the money that I'm making with this guy right now. So it all
Oh,
works
no.
out.
Well, also, I think Punk he probably told Punk he was gonna do it beforehand.
Yeah,
I think it
that's
all
fine,
added
whatever.
to the fucking that whole
But
build
that
up they did
just
was
shows
great.
how stupid
Yeah.
fucking AEW is.
Yeah.
That just
Yeah.
shows how stupid they are.
Yeah.
Shout out to
But
everyone in the chat. We're not ignoring you, but
Yeah.
we're trying to get through this. We'll take questions in a couple of minutes when we're finished
Yeah.
here.
No, we could get into I just wanted to bring that up real quick because I thought it was just insane. Like I hadn't thought about that dude in years, and he was just
I
there.
thought that guy was long gone, like dead.
No, he still does the art. I mean,
Who
he
the fuck
made
watches shoot interviews? Everything on YouTube now.
well,
Like,
well, that's the thing. There's podcasts now,
right. That's what I'm
and
saying.
like all these wrestlers doing shoot interviews every other fucking week, and they much rather do a Chris Van Vliet interview than fucking get interviewed by a pedophile.
Or
So
Conrad.
Yeah,
Fatso Conrad.
yeah. So at least they're not pedophiles, but that's, I mean, you know. So
Hope you get done with work. Great rest of okay. Shout out to Batman. The report was Punk and Drew work closely together on the feud.
yeah,
Yes.
oh yeah, 100%. I agree. Like those guys, even if they don't like each other.
Well, here's the thing: McIntyre, they weren't going to re-sign him, and then Punk came in and was like, "I'll work with him."
Yeah.
CM Punk got Drew McIntyre re-signed because then McIntyre came up with all his material about Punk.
What's the thing? Even if they don't, like I said, even with him and Seth, they probably don't like each other. But they're doing the fucking professional thing and they're fucking working together because they know the end goal is they're going to make fucking
I think
money.
that's just Seth being stupid. I don't think that's real. I don't think they hate each other.
No, I don't think they hate each other. I don't think it's like on that level. I think obviously they're playing it up a little bit in interviews. They both are.
Yeah,
They're both are. But
because they know that's where the money's at. If the fans really think they hate each other, the fans are going to really pay to see that shit.
That's yes. I think it's played up a little bit, but even if there was a small part of him that's he wasn't a fan of.
You know what? It's wrestling. These guys need to get over this shit.
But no, what I'm saying is that
holding a grudge for 10 years for what? Because the guy walked out.
What I'm saying,
when Punk fucking walked out, guess what, Seth Rollins? You got his spot.
I'm not even saying that he's holding a grudge. What I'm saying is that even if he did have a problem with it, which is fine, he can have a problem with it.
Right.
He still understands, hey, what the plan is. Like, hey, we can make a ton of money off of this shit.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like,
yeah, there's
at
no
the end of the day, this shit was like 10 years ago.
Well, yeah, look, I think they don't give a shit anymore, and they're playing it up,
which is good
for the fucking cameras.
That's the way it should be.
And they're being professionals, and they're fucking working together.
Bob Backlund came back and beat Bret Hart for the title. You didn't see the fucking guys in the locker room going, "That guy stole our spot." They were like, "No, that's Bob Backlund. He's a legend." That's why, like, when Rock comes back and wins the belt, people are like, "Oh, how dare he?" It's like, no, you just don't like The Rock. That's why you don't want him winning a fake belt.
No. I like The Rock. I didn't want him winning this year.
What does it matter?
That was stupid.
What does it matter? It's
for
fake
the
wrestling.
story.
Who gives a shit?
For the story, bro. We just talked about how
Vince fucked that story up when he didn't make Cody win the first time.
No. Rock should have. But me not wanting The Rock to win the title doesn't mean I don't like The Rock.
Well, I hope he wins the title 6 more times, and I hope Cody doesn't win it ever again after this run.
Did you hear the whole thing with The Rock and the Army? That shit is fucking insane.
Yeah, but that's stupid. That's because he put his shit out there a couple of years ago. He shouldn't have done that.
No, Rock is destroying the military. I'm just.
He's what?
He's destroying the military. It's there. They want money back.
I
from
hear
him.
all this bullshit about The Rock, and it's just like, bro, he's just some fucking guy.
But I think the cracks are starting to show for The Rock for a little bit. He's not this like picture perfect guy.
No,
and even
he's not. And you know what? His career is winding down anyway. He's gonna be like what, 50 years old, 60 years old.
But yeah, so
can't be the top guy in Hollywood forever, you know.
All right, does anyone have questions?
Haven't been good anyway lately.
Anyone have any questions?
Never mix personal feelings with money. That's a good one, Milkman.
Yeah.
It's all about the money, yes. Not for AEW, but for WWE, yes. It's all good and enjoying the show. Batman. Dreadpool, sorry not responding. Bit busy at work. That's okay, man. Thanks for being here to begin with. Milkman says, do you think Chris Jericho is holding back? Do you think Chris Jericho will keep MVP and Lashley out of AEW since Jericho hates MVP? I think those guys are going to TNA.
Yeah.
I think the Hurt Business is debuting in TNA.
Still, I think one of the biggest fumbles that they ever broke up the Hurt Business. That was
Unless
still a
Shane
big thing.
McMahon brings the Hurt
Brings
Business
him
with
in.
him to fucking
Yeah.
AEW.
Yeah.
I could see that because they did the Raw Underground, all four of those guys.
Yeah.
The Rock is 52. Yeah, I mean, how
Yeah.
long is he going to be top guy in the movies?
Well, he said he wants to do more drama stuff now, like going into his later. He doesn't want to do the action hero stuff anymore.
Yeah, because nobody's paying to see that shit anymore.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
What else? This guy Milkman had another question. Any questions? Put them in the chat now. Please use your gadgets to save AEW. They need a Batman? No, that's all right. Britt Baker should be off TV because the punishment, we'll see. She ain't winning now. Well, she's going to be on TV tomorrow.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny? She came back a couple of weeks ago and I saw the clip on YouTube with my wife. And she's like, oh, I had a mini stroke. And I was like, I looked at my wife and said, she give it to herself because of all the drama. Little did I know, a couple of weeks later, this story came out. Why would anyone date a drama queen like Britt? That's Milkman said that, not me.
No.
It's childish BS drama for no reason, says some guy in our chat room. This stuff is what you do in the indies. These guys are going to take the company and burn their bridges at the same time. They already did. Bro, if half those guys that fuck with CM Punk can't work in WWE, and guess what? They can't work in TNA because Ace Steel's in TNA. If Tony goes under, where are they going to work? They got to go back to the indies, right?
Yeah.
That's why these guys are wrestling. They think they're hot shit. It's like, bro, you burnt your bridges. Look at Ricky Starks. Look at Dustin Rhodes. These guys are going to all go back.
Yeah.
What was the story of Lufisto? Lufisto went to AEW for a tryout. And what's that guy's name that thinks he's The Rock?
The
guy that looks like a fucking he looks like he's got like 10 kids. Looks like an average person.
Thinks he's The Rock.
The guy that AEW fired this guy, and like 2 weeks later he was like, hey, I actually want to come back. And they let him back in. Cody Rhodes' friend. Oh, TJ Marshall.
Oh, 2J. Yeah.
JT Marshall, whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah.
This guy looks like an average fucking douchebag, and he thinks he's gonna be a big star in wrestling. That guy kept dicking her around the whole night about her getting a tryout, and she ended up not getting the tryout. But while she was backstage, she saw a bunch of shit happen with the women and everything, and she just put everything out there on the internet. QT Marshall, sorry. Q-tip?
Yeah.
Gonna clean his fucking ass with a Q-tip. She put everything out there, and Britt Baker got all the women in the locker room to refute her and bully her off the internet. And they tweeted in unison at 6 p.m. on a Friday night about how the locker room is united. And by the way, Britt Baker, who had a problem with one of the women who helped her tweet in unison, tweeted, "That's right, sis. We need to protect the locker." I'm like, sis? What? This is like 5-year-old kids fucking talking to each other on the internet. And I remember Adam Cole. People were talking about like body shaming him. And she was like, well, Adam Cole has more than what you people have, heart. And I'm like, why are you typing this shit? Don't acknowledge the internet. You're a wrestler. This is like people make fun of wrestlers. When I make fun of like I don't know, Mel Gibson's character in like Lethal Weapon. People don't leave the movie theater and be like, man, you shouldn't have made fun of Mel Gibson, man. That's fucked up. It's like I'm making fun of a character I'm seeing on TV or in the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shit. You got to learn that there's two different people. There's the person that people make fun of on TV, and then there's the personal life. How about you stop leaking all his info to fucking Dave Meltzer and this guy putting it on the internet? That's another thing too. Like these guys leak everything. I don't know who's got more leaks, Microsoft or AEW. Shit, man. You know, Microsoft actually tweeted, "Hey, these games are on sale for your backlog." I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, man? You're even acknowledging there's a backlog problem?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Anyway, they got a really huge leak right now going on, which you'll talk about tomorrow. You'll jump on for a little bit,
Yeah, for sure.
for like 5-10 minutes. Give us the
Yeah.
lowdown. Hopefully, you can
But,
get your hands on that thing. Check it out.
Yeah.
Anyway, any more questions in the chat?
How would you book Cena at WrestleMania, and would you have him win the Royal Rumble? That's what
Um,
man asked.
I would have Cena win the Royal Rumble, and I would have him win the WrestleMania.
Yeah. And have him hold the title maybe until he drops it on his last show or something. I don't know. I mean, because he's going for the whole 2025. Like he's staying till the end. So WrestleMania's not his last.
No, I know,
hurrah.
and Jesus' friend reported that, which I was like, his last match is not WrestleMania. He said, "This is my last WrestleMania."
WrestleMania, but against who? I don't know.
I could
I
see
mean,
Cena winning the world title, or the U.S. title, or something. I think he's gonna get the world.
they're going to
title.
give him that 17th.
I think,
title.
yeah, because Flair is a piece of shit at this point. So,
Well, Flair is just. I mean, Flair's ruined his reputation.
of course, Flair is like, when he wins the 17, I want to congratulate him in person on Raw. It's like,
he probably wants to wrestle him the next night for it. That's what he wants to do. I mean, Flair has done more to. I mean, Flair's done more to ruin his reputation.
yeah, Ric Flair
over the last
fucking ruins everything. That guy.
Still like if I made a top 10 tomorrow, he'd be in my top 10. Talented as fuck, but that guy has done more to ruin his reputation over the last 20 years than
What happened to Ric Flair, man? He was so good, and then he got old, and then he became a fucking lunatic.
bro. And that's one person doesn't need to be speaking about anything. I mean, when he's up there now, and he's what was it about 6 months ago or whatever, he was saying he wanted like all the 18-year-olds and the 19-year-olds to come to his hotel room or some shit.
You know, when he's not invited, he's gonna fucking start tweeting at Cena like, "This guy's an asshole." You know it's gonna happen.
Yeah. It's so bad, man. But
I would give Cena one more run. Just give him the fucking. Again, it's fake fucking wrestling. Who gives a shit?
But also, after all Cena's done for that, I mean, Cena was like, I mean, the run he had on top.
I was there for the whole run.
Yeah, I mean, he was literally. I mean, they were desperate looking for somebody when
Austin had walked out. If Austin didn't walk out, you would not have John Cena right now in the way that you have John Cena.
And
Austin walked out, and that motherfucker debuted that Thursday on SmackDown or Friday, whatever the fuck night SmackDown was on.
That great match against Kurt.
Yeah, Kurt Angle called him out. He's who's got the guts or whatever, and this guy comes out and his little.
Still think that Kurt's last match should have been against Cena, but and even he was saying it should have been against Cena. Kurt was so.
But that's how much Vince McMahon ruined the fucking company, man. Like, it was so bad.
Kurt said in an interview, he was like, I asked about, doing my match against Cena, my last match against Cena, and I was told by Vince that Cena was not going to be able to do WrestleMania. He ended up fucking doing WrestleMania. Like a month before he was able to do WrestleMania. I'm like, so he was either lied to or Cena's plans changed.
But against who? He could beat Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, anybody that Cena beats, it doesn't hurt them because it's fucking John Cena.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. He's John Cena. Who gives a shit? Give him the fucking title and let him win it, and that's it. Give him one more run. It's gonna fuck with CM Punk's run, but it is what it is.
I see, um, like, you know, I think it's obvious. It's already been happening already, but Cody's gonna be like the new like Make-A-Wish guy that Cena was 100%.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
yeah,
not saying he's
yeah.
gonna do as many. I mean, he's great with the kids. I mean, he's great with, you know, he's like the proverbial like like he's the perfect guy to have like filling in. Like as soon as going out, you have Cody ascending up. It's like that's like the perfect replacement in my opinion. But
Flair was pissed he was left off the WCW documentary. What was he gonna add to that? He's in like 50 fucking WCW documentaries. What was he gonna add to this one?
no one wants to. No one wants.
No one cares about what Flair has to say anymore. I mean, look, the
No.
guy's 100 years old. He said
The
everything he needs to say about it.
After his match with Shawn Michaels, which was the perfect ending to his career, he should have just went into a hole.
He goes to fucking TNA.
But that's what happens when you have 7 ex-wives.
Maybe don't have 7 ex-wives.
What happened?
Maybe don't have 7.
Yeah.
The fucking guy had 2 of them. I'm sorry, he had 1 ex-wife when I was watching that shit. How the fuck he got to 7? It's kind of pathetic. He was still married to Charlotte's mom when I was watching. But, you know, who am I? He's got more wives than titles at this point.
Oh, 100%.
They got to get Austin for one more match against Cena or Punk. Listen, so the Austin thing, Austin did put a statement out.
Yeah.
Because he lives in Vegas. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He said, hey, if WrestleMania is in Vegas, they just need to call me and I'll be there.
Well, he said because one of the reasons because apparently they tried until the day of to get Austin for WrestleMania.
That was a fucking mistake. They should have gotten him.
But apparently
he was just like glass to break, man. Then the Undertaker goes off and it's like, what?
But apparently he just was not adamant on not like I don't know if it was money.
They didn't want to fucking pay him.
But I mean, how much money was he asking for? Like,
I don't think they just wanted to give him the amount that he wanted. I think they figured, you know what? We got Undertaker here. We'll just give him that money.
He said that he said in his statement that it would take a lot for him to leave Vegas or to leave Nevada because he lives there now. And he was like, well, WrestleMania. And then he mentions that WrestleMania is here in Nevada next year, which is in Vegas for 2 nights.
Just pay the fucking guy. The guy is the reason why the company is $1 billion company right now. A lot of people don't realize that. That guy, the reason why the company is the way it is right now is because of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Okay? I don't want to hear this. No, it was Cena. It was not John Cena. John Cena took the spot that Austin left. Okay? We all fucking know that because we were there.
Yeah.
Okay? This guy, Steve Austin, he got fired by Bischoff from WCW. Goes to ECW, says he's going to be the biggest star in the fucking industry. Goes to the WWF, becomes the biggest star in the industry. Saves them from bankruptcy. Makes Vince McMahon a billionaire. All within a few years span, this guy. And that's why the company is the way that it is today. So, you do what you have to do to get that guy on the show, in my opinion.
I agree.
There would be no WWE if it wasn't for that guy. Because say if they didn't hire him and they left him in ECW, guess what? WCW would be on TV right now, not WWE. We'd be recapping Monday Nitro and Bash at the Beach right now. So just remember that, everybody out there. And I don't want to hear this shit online that, oh, his matches were overrated and he couldn't work. Go fuck yourselves.
Who?
I've been reading that for a couple of years now on fucking the internet. Oh, Steve Austin was overrated. He couldn't work. You know, and I'm like, bro, you don't even know the Steve Austin that was going on before he broke his neck. But this is revisionist history I'm reading on the internet, Nick.
People are just... I don't think anything the internet says seriously when it comes to wrestling. I really don't.
Yeah, because they're all fucking dumb. That's why. They're like the fucking video game people.
It's just like, dude, I saw that, and this has nothing to do with Stone Cold Steve Austin, but I think it's also, I think it's just shows how stupid the fucking is, right? And it is just, and again, you might think it's people might think it's funny. People in the chat might think it's funny. I don't think it's funny. But they did the whole like they did like one of those like the signings like where you can meet the WWE wrestlers before SummerSlam or whatever.
Right.
People were meeting like Punk and they were meeting all these other people. And Liv Morgan did a fucking meet and greet or whatever. You can get a photo, whatever. Some douchebag from the internet, I guess he from Twitter or whatever, and he posted it because he thought it would be funny. Showed up with a picture of Liv Morgan's mugshot on a T-shirt and fucking took the photo with her. And I'm like, are you fucking for real?
That's fucked up.
That's really fucked up. Because that's how people like that's probably one of the lower points of her life. And you're sitting there. I mean, even though I think she got caught with like weed or some shit. But anyway, that's not the point. It's still a mugshot. She probably was embarrassed.
A rumor
by
that was Lana's.
Lana's weed.
No, that's a true story.
Oh.
She blamed it on her friend, which she was with Lana. Apparently, Lana is a huge pothead or something.
Okay.
That's why.
Anyway,
but
he did that just so he could put it on Twitter and get some fucking clout. And I'm like, these little internet wrestling fans are fucking just so you want some retweets and some engagement on a post. You're fucking you're bums. You're bums. Go out and get a job. Touch grass. Do something with your life.
I don't think these people understand. The wrestlers are athletes.
And they're people.
You know what I mean? It's just like imagine if somebody did that to Michael Jordan.
Oh, bro,
that shit wouldn't fly in that. You would have fans beating that guy up.
Oh, 100%. Michael Jordan might beat that guy up. That I would not put up as Michael Jordan to fucking smack the shit out of somebody.
What did you say? Would you say Austin and Taker are the two best characters Vince McMahon has ever created? Well, he didn't create Steve Austin. He created The Undertaker, which, that is probably the best character
they
have ever
100%.
created.
But Austin was just like he was a guy that just needed an opportunity. I mean, he always had the talent. He just needed that opportunity. He didn't get it in WCW, and he got it into WWF eventually.
Right.
And Austin's.
But the fact that this was the guy, this was the golden goose, and WCW had him.
Yeah.
And they let him go.
And he's the reason they lost. Yeah.
They lost the fucking war. He beat them. He literally killed the company that let him go.
Yeah.
Like that is the story that's been told for years. I mean,
that would be like if back in the day, like there was like talks that like I'll use like a sports analogy that like the Yankees didn't want to re-sign Derek Jeter when he was one of the main reasons they were even like one of the premier fucking franchises of the 90s and the 2000s. If he would have, that would be like if they didn't re-sign him, he left the fucking, I don't know, some other team that maybe were rivals with the Yankees or whatever and won them the World Series and they beat the
right,
that would be like letting your star player just fucking
kind of like what AEW did with CM Punk. Oh, anyway,
but it's just like them doing that with Austin was just that you want to talk about one of the biggest fumbles in wrestling.
That's the biggest
WCW fumbling Austin is
they had the guy. They had the guy, and then if you watch ECW One Night Stand, that's the end of the whole story. They capped it off. They made money with it. AEW, you don't know how to fucking do that. One Night Stand, it's Austin returning to ECW to beat the fuck out of Eric Bischoff. So that whole thing, the story came full circle in real life and in storyline.
Yeah. Yep.
So that was crazy, man. That's just weird how that all worked out for him. But that's why he's the greatest of all time. It's his story alone is the story of wrestling.
Yeah. And just a story of betting on yourself.
The Attitude Era, all that shit is on him.
Yeah.
Like, that is him. Because they only did the Attitude because this guy went over there and he was getting revenge on them, and they couldn't do it. WCW couldn't do that shit that they were doing in WWF. It's a fascinating story that nobody realizes that this is actually a real thing. But one guy changed wrestling for
Yeah.
for everyone. I puke if Jeter went to the Red Sox. Oh man.
Oh, bro, don't even put that. Can I delete that comment? Hang on. No, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna do that.
Triple H versus Austin, 3 stages of the Hell match, or Austin and Angle SummerSlam, 2 greatest matches of all time. I would say, yeah. I don't know. Rock and Austin at all the WrestleManias were good.
Yeah.
They beat the fuck out of each other a couple of Raw Rumbles. They had a couple of Raw matches.
Yeah. No, it like, but I will say that. I mean, again, he left as well, but like Rock never got to the levels of that Austin. I mean, Austin was just on another playing field when it came to everything.
Yeah, but I think Rock is on that level now because you
Yes.
just
Oh.
the
Oh yeah.
guy
Yeah. No. No.
just you mention
no.
his name, it sells out fucking 2 nights of
Oh.
WrestleMania.
No. I 100% I agree. I'm talking about like in
the
that
attitude,
moment.
yeah.
Yes.
No.
Yeah. When they were both wrestling at the same time. You know.
No,
I think,
Rock was like on the job training while Austin was the fucking worker. You know what I mean?
But the thing is, too, I think Austin could have been even bigger if he didn't get hurt.
Oh yeah. No,
I,
his career would
I
have
think
went
he
a
could have
few
been.
more years.
I think because you got to remember, like there was a like some portions at that time in like '99 where he missed time, and like
I know. Yeah.
and I'm like, if he was there during that time when it was like at its absolute even like hottest, I mean, he would have been. He was already huge, but I mean, it could have been even bigger. But like, but that's what happens when you just have nagging injuries that just pile up over time. And that guy's neck was literally hanging on by a fucking thread.
Yeah, that's why he
At some
walked
point.
out, and that's why Cena got the opportunity. Imagine if he didn't get hurt, then Cena. There probably wouldn't be a John Cena right now if Austin didn't get hurt in '97.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like I'm because especially in a fucking in a profession or like an industry that we always. I mean, how many times we have to talk about it, Perry, about people dying and fucking dying before the age of 50. I'm glad Austin's still here kicking. He's still like, I mean, he took a lot of bumps in that match with Kevin Owens. I mean, he looked really good. And I'm like, I'm glad he's able to do that. I mean, hell, he's like he's able to walk and do just regular shit, let alone wrestle a match. I mean, his neck was that fucked up. I'm glad he's good. I'm glad people like, even though he looks rough, but Kurt Angle could have been way worse. That man broke his neck 6 times. like, when you really think about that, man, that's fucking crazy. You're not supposed to break your neck 6 times.
No.
And not be walking around like like it's I'm laughing, but it's just like it's nuts that like it's just crazy, man. I'm thankful like a lot of these guys are still like these guys that had injuries are still here and that they're on the straight and narrow, because we like hopefully we hear less and less about stories of guys dying before the age of 50. Like this generation of wrestlers.
I don't think you're hearing that anymore as far as top wrestlers.
Oh yeah, just because I just it's so rough. I mean,
go ahead. Sorry.
No. Speaking of wrestlers and health, I read that fucking Bob Backlund is like suffering from like early stages of dementia.
Oh man,
which is
we
like
were just talking about him earlier.
Yeah, man, but like but I mean, he's older now, and I get, but like that's one of the hardest things to watch.
The guy was
somebody
70 in like 1999. I mean,
yeah, he's got to be. I'm gonna look it up because now you got me thinking. Bob Backlund.
Unless he was just a young-looking old man.
Or an he's 74. He's 74 now.
I thought the guy was 74 when he wrestled Bret Hart.
He was born in 1949.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think WWE should have gone with Austin versus Hogan at WrestleMania 18? Yes, I do. However, Austin didn't trust Hogan. So, I mean, what are you going to do? And by the way, he had every good reason not to trust Hogan because look at Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels was told by Vince, there's going to be 3 matches with you and Hogan.
Yep.
You're going to win Hogan's gonna win the first match, and you're gonna win the next two.
Yeah. It was gonna be like a
Bro,
1-1, then the rubber match. Yeah.
at SummerSlam,
Yeah.
or no, Shawn was told he was gonna win SummerSlam, lose the second one, then win the next one.
Yeah.
At SummerSlam, Vince told Shawn, "You're losing tonight."
Yeah. The night of the show.
The night of the show, and then that's why during that match, Shawn Michaels was purposely doing Terry Funk bumps the whole match.
Yeah.
He made Hogan look like a fucking joke in that match on purpose.
Yeah.
Because he found out that Hogan didn't want to work with him after that.
And that validated Austin right then and there.
Yeah, because how do you know when you're at the show, you're not going to take the leg drop?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is what it is, but
it should have happened, but I 100% understand. And him calling, what was it, at the Hall of Fame the one year where he said, I got a can of whoop ass with Hulk Hogan's name on it, and Hogan was like,
they zoomed in on Hogan's face like, please, I need this match, because his career was winding down.
Yeah,
he never got it though. I mean, they did wrestle. It was The Rock and Austin versus the NWO on Raw, but it wasn't like 1-on-1 with Hogan. Every time Hogan tagged in, Austin would tag right out. But it should have happened, but Hogan was the problem. I mean, Hogan was telling these guys in WCW, I don't want to work with you guys. Well, that one guy that you got rid of became the top guy. He don't want to work with you now. So it's a shame. I think they could have made a lot of money together. Obviously, it was the two biggest stars in fucking pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Any other questions before we head out? This was a great show, great night to come out. And we had a lot of people on. We had 14 to 15 people in here at one point.
That's awesome. Thank you for remembering us.
Yeah, thanks for coming in, everybody.
Yeah.
Any questions? Give you guys 5 more minutes and then we'll head on out. What do you think AEW needs to do to fucking... I think they're just dead, man. I don't think they can recover from this shit. It's just so much shit every month, man. It's always something else with these guys.
They need to do what I don't think they want to do, which is why I think it might be rough for them. And what they have to do is they have to just do a complete like reset. They have to go back. They gotta get back to just basics, and they gotta do a complete overhaul of their roster. They gotta be like, all right, look, we're not filling these fucking big ass arenas. We're gonna do smaller arenas that we know we could fill, like at least not sell out, but like, you know, it will look better on TV. Right. And they gotta have a complete like overhaul. But I don't think they want to do that. Now, again, I think people underestimate. I don't know how much longer they're gonna go, but people underestimate how much money the Khan family has. They have a lot of money, like a lot.
That doesn't mean you want to keep putting it in.
No, but I wouldn't count them out yet. But I hope for their sake they turn it around. But because again, I think we need more fucking places for guys to go and make money. I still stand by that 100%. But
I don't anymore. You got TNA. Like, you're good. Here's the thing with AEW. They have all the indie guys from when they first started. Okay, they fired a handful of guys, you know, that they didn't need, but they still keep a lot of these guys. Like Jungle Boy, for what? What are you gonna do with this guy? What are you gonna do with him? The guy is literally 3 fucking feet tall. He's not gonna be the WWE World Champion ever. Okay, his father was great on 90210. The kid's a great wrestler, but he just ain't able to hang with these guys in the WWF. Yeah, for a lot of people that don't know the story, Luke Perry took Jungle Boy to Dusty Rhodes backstage at a SmackDown show. And Dusty Rhodes said he's not going to make it here because he's too short. And the gimmick, Vince is going to change that. He's not going to. So Dusty Rhodes told him, like, keep him on the indies, let him do his thing, and maybe, you know, he'll eventually end up somewhere else. If he makes a big enough name for himself, he'll find his way back here. But And they took the advice, and he did the indie stuff, and he did AEW, and it was great. But what are you gonna do with that guy? What are you gonna do
Yeah.
with all these other guys that they have that they don't use anymore? That they still have on the like QT Marshall. I don't know JT again. QT Marshall. What are you gonna fucking do with this guy? Oh, he's a trainer, really? Because half these guys can't work. So who is he training?
Yeah.
Jericho, gotta get rid of him. Like, he is just fucking leeching off Tony Khan.
Yeah, I would agree. But
By the way, the Lucha Bros are headed to WWE.
I did see that.
That's gonna WWE fans are gonna get their minds blown with these guys.
Yeah. No, they gotta they you know I they're definitely building up a better tag division than what Vince had. That's for sure.
Right.
But yeah, I'm interested to see it.
What was a blast as Batman? In my opinion, it needs to throw a bunch of money at Paul Heyman to have him book the show and give. Nah,
I don't think
you don't want
Heyman
Heyman in AEW.
Heyman's in like now that Heyman's in the Hall of Fame with WWE, he ain't going he ain't going
He
nowhere.
ain't going nowhere.
He's finishing his career in WWE, and as he should.
Yeah.
So
Heyman's been with the McMahon since Vince McMahon's father. He used to be a photographer for the WWF.
Well, they've always even say what you want Vince McMahon, but him and Heyman always had a good relationship, even if they butted heads at times because they had two different completely ideas of what they wanted to do when it came to wrestling.
I think Vince always respected Heyman because he kept ECW together when he had no money.
Yeah. They always had a respect for one another, even if they
literally he wrote checks that were bouncing to the wrestlers, and the wrestlers would still work the shows without getting paid. I think Vince is like, okay, I got respect for this guy,
and Vince was helping them financially at one point, so
they were both. WCW was helping them too, bro. How the fuck does Raven, Stevie Richards, Sandman, they all show up on fucking WCW? Come on. They bought that shit.
Milfman asked, how did AEW screw up with Ethan Page? I don't know.
That guy's the NXT champion right now.
And I think he has a lot of potential, Ethan Page. But
it's funny. Jesus is telling me that all these guys are going to be big stars, and now they went to WWE, and he's like, oh, they didn't need them anymore. You're doing the same shit the WWE guys used to do.
Yeah, Ethan Page has a lot of potential. I don't know how they fumbled that, but I mean, they fumbled it.
Look at Scorpio Sky. You don't hear about that guy anymore. It's like all their originals, they're keeping at home, but Jericho is still on TV. You know what pissed me off, Nick? Jericho would put guys over by losing matches to these guys, and then you never see these guys on TV ever again.
Yeah.
So his excuse was, well, I put him over. Yeah, you put him over, but you never fucking saw this guy ever again.
Yeah.
You're still on TV every week.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's bigger than the Nutty Professor, this guy, Jericho. You got a cat crying over here.
Oh. One of my cats is laying near my feet right now.
They hear me yelling, so they're crying. Any other questions? I'll give you one more second. Then we gotta go.
Yeah, I just realized.
So I'll see you tomorrow night on Game Complainers for a few minutes.
Yes.
You're gonna give me an update on a big story we're gonna cover tomorrow.
Yes, and I want to thank everybody for coming out to this episode of the Cheap Pop Podcast. It's amazing how he's getting please retire chants at every show. Yeah, because even the AEW fans know they want him gone.
What, Jericho?
Yeah, he's getting please retire chants at AEW shows now.
Well, you know what I fucking hate about this guy? He takes that shit and tells Tony Khan, oh, they're not talking about me. They're talking about the guy next to me. It's like, no.
No, they're talking about...
Tony Khan needs to fucking sit this guy down and be like, bro, you can't be the top fucking paid guy in the company anymore because you don't do anything. This guy is just letting him run roughshod on him. We can't do that. You know why? Because Jericho knows that Triple H don't want him back.
Awesome show. Wish you guys did more. We can do more, It's just my schedule like with work is crazy as it
Listen,
is.
every time we do more, either wrestling gets shittier or we get burned out really quick. So it's better if we do these once in a while. And we just cover
When
whatever.
we stopped doing it weekly, I was just burnt out from wrestling in general. Like I needed a
Wrestling was
break.
bad. I
I
hate to say this to everybody, but there was a period of about 7 years that it was a horrible fucking show.
well, no, but the worst year was like I think there was even like like it's a meme now how bad 2019 was for wrestling. It was so the WWE 2019 was so bad.
Yeah, Vince
It wa-
fucking took a
oh my
huge
god,
shit all over that before that
that
lady's
was
face.
there was bad stuff going on in wrestling before that, but that year was like that literally drove me away from watching. I didn't even like I watched AEW, like I was watching AEW, but I was watching like after it aired. I wasn't even like hype about watching it live. I'd watch it like later in the week. Like I would record it and just watch it later.
To me, there was no WWE. There was just AEW. That's how
Yeah.
bad
Uh,
WWE was.
yeah, no, it was
And AEW was great until this whole thing with Punk happened a couple of years ago, and I'm like, great, you finally AEW built themselves up to get CM Punk. They finally got CM Punk, and you're like, thank God, everything is right in the world. He had a huge debut there, everything was great, and the fucking minute he gets there, this guy Hangman, who fucking destroyed his career just by doing that alone, starts shooting on him on live TV. It's like, bro, what do you want? What are you guys doing?
yeah.
What are you fucking doing? And guess what? They're barely getting any viewers. They're barely selling tickets. Ooh, but they got Wembley. Yeah, they barely sold out Wembley. They did the first time, but not this time. You know why they did the first time? Because it's wrestling finally coming to Wembley Stadium after
Yeah.
20, 30 years. Nobody fucking cares. They could have had MLW go to fucking Wembley and they would have sold out. People just want to see wrestling over there.
Hockey fans said, imagine you guys had this podcast during the Attitude Era.
Oh wow, I don't know.
I mean, that would be crazy. I mean,
Podcasting would have been fucking great during the Attitude Era.
yeah. I mean, imagine you were doing like I don't know, like there had to be like there wasn't like online radio shows yet, were there? I mean, back then.
There was Iyata and but you had to be
Yeah.
like a partner. It was like radio. It was like
Yeah.
broadcast radio, but
Like
it was internet radio. But it was the
like
same
me and
type
you.
of business. It was like
Yeah, me and you couldn't fucking do a show out of our fucking basement or some shit. No,
we
it was
couldn't do that.
no,
That
it
would
was
have been
different.
great though. I used to have a website on Angel Fire called WWF Funnies. It was WWFUNNIES.
Yeah,
And I would just like type funny things like Kane's face was burnt by hot peppers or something like stupid shit because I was a teenager.
all right. Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up there. Appreciate everybody for hanging. I really do. We'll try to do more of these. But just keep tuned to our social media and stuff. I'm at the Nick Luzzy on Twitter. So you can follow me over there. I also stream on Twitch. Um, twitch.tv/ the Nick Luzzy, TheNickLuzzi. I stream there almost every day. I try to at least. I try to stream a little Call of Duty, a little bit of Valorant, some other stuff. Today I was playing Call of Duty. Appreciate you guys, and be sure to check out Game Complainers with Perry, my brother Anthony, and Frank, and um,
Fred,
Frank. Yeah.
Fred,
So Fred, Frank,
yeah.
Fred. I was getting everybody mixed up. Frank, Fred, you, and my brother Anthony do Game Complainers every Wednesday. They'll be doing it tomorrow. I'll be making a guest appearance to talk about a news story. So be sure to look out for that.
A big story.
And I appreciate everybody for hanging. Thanks. And we'll be back. We'll see you when we see you. So thank you all for listening. I'm Nick.
I'm Perry.
And we'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.